the XL back with another FIFA 2026 World Cup podcast, and this is my usual daily look at the action. Day 13 now. So on day 12, Argentina completed their second victory of the tournament with a comfortable win over Austria. The magnificent Messi became the all-time leading goal scorer with a brace to follow up on his first game hat-trick. They will now progress to the round of 32 as group winners. Austria now need to regroup and get at least a draw against Algeria to book their own place in the last 32. Algeria's narrow comeback win over Jordan means a draw with Austria could suit both teams in terms of them qualifying for the round of 32, while this second loss for Jordan sees them eliminated after just 2 games. As expected, another of the big guns in this tournament booked their place in the last 32 by easily disposing of Iraq, and they being France, to make it 2 wins from 2. Now they will face Norway in their final group game, needing just a draw to progress as group winners. Excuse my voice. Quick drink. That's after Norway also got their second consecutive win, narrowly beating Senegal by 3-2 to book their place in the last 32. So France and Norway go into their final game, both having won both their games and looking to win the group. Senegal have been dealt a tough hand draw-wise and may fail to qualify for the next round as a result, even though they've played pretty well. They now need a wide margin win over Iraq to stand a chance of making the last 32, whilst Iraq need an even bigger miraculous win score-wise to have any hope. Portugal versus Uzbekistan is the third game, but the second game is England versus Ghana, which I've previewed in a separate podcast in more detail. But basically, I've taken England to win that one 2 or 3-0. So on to Portugal versus Uzbekistan, which is the first game of the day. Can Portugal's 10 men and their 41-year-old goal hanger, yep, I'm talking about Ronaldo, get a better result than their opening draw with DR Congo? Or can the Uzbeks follow the Congolese lead and get a result here? Uzbekistan lost their opening game to Colombia, and that followed warm-up game losses to Canada and the Netherlands. So they will need to find some form here if they're to get anything from a game they cannot afford to lose. Portugal basically tried to shoehorn all of their best players into midfield in their first game, and that plan did not work particularly well. So we could see some changes in that area for this game. But Ronaldo will still be their focal point, and I expect some more direct runners to leave more space for him to exploit with the minimal running he seems to do these days. Not that I'm giving him a hard time for that, really. He's 41. I'm just pointing out that he doesn't do a lot of running, and that's the truth, unless he suddenly starts running in this game. As with Spain, though, for Portugal, I expect a much more dynamic showing here and see them winning this one 3-1. Panama-Croatia is the one of the later games. Having conceded a late goal to lose to Ghana, Panama need to find a way to get something from this game. But whilst there is pressure on them in that regard, the pressure is really on Croatia following their first game defeat by England. Panama actually tend to score plenty. And I can see them having a real go against Croatia. What have they got to lose after all? And Croatia have been far from watertight in defence. But for their keeper, they could have conceded 7 or 8 to England. So can I see goals in this one? Yes, I can. And I just have a feeling we could have a shock here against a Croatian team that is on the old side in terms of its players. If Panama play with a high tempo and attack them, I think they can get a shock winning this game by 3-2. Final game of the evening will be Colombia versus DR Congo. Colombia got the win over the Uzbeks in their first game, but DR Congo also got a good result by drawing with group favourites Portugal, a very good result in fact. Another draw here would be another good outcome for the Africans, as they could then target a win against Uzbekistan in their final game to take them to the next phase. And with Portugal to play last, that might put the onus on Colombia to go for the win here. Now, the Colombians have won 8, drawn 1, and lost just 2 of their last 11 games. But I think they're just going to have too much for DR Congo here. We'll put up a brave effort against them, a good effort, but I'm taking Colombia to win this one 2-1. So that's my day 13 preview. Tomorrow is day 14 and sees us enter the final games in groups A, B, and C. So we'll know how those groups finish after tomorrow, and we might get our first clue as to where the third place qualifiers are going to come from. Now, I'll look forward to all 6 games tomorrow because there's going to be 6 games, 3 groups finishing. Um, and I'll also give you an update on my state of the tournament address with the top 10 teams as I see them after the first 2 games, and also which groups I think the third places have a best chance to come from. There's going to be 8 of the 12 groups that have a third place qualifier. So I'm going to give you the 4 groups that I think have the least chance, and maybe the 2 or 3 that have the best chance of providing the third place team. So that will all come in tomorrow. Busy day for me tomorrow, but that's it for me for day 13. I'll see you soon.